Welcome to the Kickstart Your Edge Play to Win Leadership Podcast,
where we've flipped the script with our groundbreaking modus operandi to bring you real, relevant, and relatable tactics and techniques to master your own play to win mindset.
Talk about a superpower. It's time to iron your cape.
What we know for sure is what got you here won't get you there.
You can't see the spinach in your own teeth.
And finally, hang on, because this one is really deep. Once you realize that you are the traffic, everything makes complete and unadulterated sense.
Welcome to the Edge, where playing not to lose is not an option. You know, it's interesting, Kiera, when we've been talking about culture, is thinking about the different types of cultures that actually exist. Because normally organizations are going to have different components, but what they focus on first, what they say is most important first, and then how they back that up with the behaviors and how they structure things really can define what type of culture they're actually creating.
Yeah, and you think about that, right? If you have a company like, I don't know, it just popped into my head, like the SEC, right? There are like so many straightforward guidelines. And this has to get done, and this has to get done, and there's policies, and there's all these different things that it's just making sure that things are in alignment. And then you look at a company like, I don't know, Facebook, or you look at a company like Tesla, like they're not going to match up the same way. So this is the fun part about identifying the different types of cultures and what about each, like it makes you see what goes first in the company as far as, you know, what's important to that company.
Yeah, and when you think about this, so we're going to go over some of the different types of culture there are, but it's really about looking at the ways the organization does business, that how does it fit within the culture? So, you know, how are products developed? How are meetings run? How are decisions made? How are the interactions with customers? All of those types of the ways of getting business done is going to be through the lens of a particular type of culture, right? So let's take, for example, if there was a collaborative culture, okay, right? So if you think about a collaborative culture, it's probably going to be one that really focuses on teamwork, open communication, being able to have collaboration be a part of some of their daily routines, rituals, parts of meetings, things where a lot of input is gathered. And it's really about focusing on, I would say, probably the collective intelligence for creative problem solving, bringing in employees to have them engage with some of the ideas and ways of moving forward, and really having innovation. So decisions are not made in an ivory tower. It's about how do we use the collective intelligence of the entire organization to be able to do things better, faster, quicker, whatever the goals are.
You know what, it's funny, Dan, because you just said innovation, and I think that innovation leads to that's another culture, right? So when you say that, it's, you know, with an innovation kind of culture, it makes me think of like, okay, great, make mistakes, make them quick. How do we get creative? How do we find new ideas? How do we really continually get better? And we experiment, and we expect to not kind of get it right. So it's about that innovation piece of it, exploring, you know, new different things. Where do we take risks? And it's truly encouraged to, quite frankly, mess up, because then we just get the next best version.
Yeah, it's really about like prioritizing creativity and new ideas, right? So if that's the culture, that's what we're looking for, is out of the box thinking. How do we go from good to great? And by improving, next best version. Love that, right? Some other cultures might be about customer or client first cultures, right? So this is about prioritizing what the customer needs and about customer satisfaction with the decisions and the operations of getting business done. So it's really about delivering an exceptional customer experience. I think of Zappos in the old days, right? So Zappos was really all about a wow experience for the customer. They were more focused on what the customer experienced and even probably the products that they sold. Now, the products they chose and decided to sell at Zappos would be based on customer needs, but it's about the end to end. How does the customer interact with our company? Then that is what is priority to us. So I think,
I remember, it's funny, Jen, I remember that with Zappos. Their big thing was about having fun. And it was almost, I don't know, something about like the game was more fun when you're trying to do more than just make money. And that was truly it, right? It was about the customer and how that customer felt.
a very traditional culture is a results focused culture, right? So that is all about achievement, all about performance, very goal oriented environment that values success and merit. And it motivates employees through excellence and strategic objectives and hitting those. So, really, it's about the results. This also, I'll be honest, is the type of culture that your biggest asset can also become your biggest asset, right? So, oftentimes, what we've noticed in results focused cultures is that sometimes it can supersede the people and their experience in order to hit the objective. But that's a big one in business, right? So being able to hit a target number, being able to hit the profits, thinking about the shareholders and their perspectives, really getting the results for the board. So it's great, but then also this is our cautionary one of how do you make sure that the results don't overshadow the experience people have while trying to achieve those results.
I think, Jen, the next thing we can talk about is a little bit about safety and that safety focused culture. So this is about planning, it's about being careful, it's about preparedness, and the work environments there are really kind of predictable. Where people are really risk conscious, think things through. And what happens here is a lot of times employees are really united by a desire to feel protected. And here's the places where you anticipate change all the time. And, leaders are really focused on planning ahead and making sure that they're not leaving themselves open to any kind of threats or any kind of exposure that's going to come back and, kind of hurt them.
Love it. There's also a human-centered culture, which really values the employees' well-being, diversity, inclusion, creating supportive environments where individuals feel valued and empowered to be able to contribute their best. Really having it be all about the people. I sort of even think about like a human-centered culture that could, having youth centers and being able to deal with teens or different people, and not only with the employees feeling valued, but their customers as well. But it's really about celebrating the individuality where everybody can contribute and feel they're making a difference.
I think too, next comes like learning, and this is about exploring, right? Expansive creativity and work environments here. A lot of people and we're going to talk about, you've heard us talk about this before, it's about growth mindsets and open mindset where people can, spark new ideas and explore different alternatives. And, it's about curiosity and really, really where the leadership emphasizes innovation, also coupled with knowledge, and you get to have, you get to learn and you get to grow.
Yeah. And speaking of learning, it makes me think of our egghead culture, right? So we have a group of people that we call the eggheads. It's a great brain trust of amazing, smart, wonderful people. And that is the learning focused culture that we have created, is about how do we learn, how do we share, how do we all get better? The last one that we'll share is about the impactful focus culture, which is about cultures that are committed to making a positive difference through their business practices, right? So they're going to address different types of social, environmental, or economic challenges, being purpose-driven missions to create value, right? And it's not necessarily, you could think of nonprofits often fitting in this category about what is the impact that we're focused on making that's more important than money per se. And sometimes you do need to do fundraising and have money to be able to do it. However, it's really about the impact that you have in the community more so than the profits that you're making. So there's a few that we share there, a lot of other ones that can come into play, but it's about understanding what your organization values, what it rewards, and what it focuses on. And then what are the systems and processes and rhythms and rituals and routines that the organization has in place that actually supports that culture.
And Jen, when culture is aligned with strategy and leadership, that's where you get that positive, organizational outcome. And it's really, really about the alignment of it, because Jen, if you're not creating your culture, you have one by default. And so often what we see is a lack of leadership skills, truthfully, are contributing to cultures by default versus really, truly creating the culture that it is that you want.
Love it. All right, there we have it. All sorts of cultures.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Kickstart Your Edge Play to Win Leadership Podcast.
Craving more? Of course you are.
Check out our website at kickstartyouredge.com,
where we fire you up, fan the flames of your competitive edge culture, and ignite your tenacious pursuit of an all-out play to win mindset.